Good day, everybody. Welcome to a new installment of DJ Dance Party virtual interview series. We want to introduce our special guest host. He is the EIC of the Hype Magazine, editor-in-chief, Dr. Jerry Doby. We want to welcome him to the show.
Peace. Thanks for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to sit in with you today.
Oh, yes, no doubt. And also want to introduce someone from DC, Southeast, the DMV, one of the legends of the game. He fused go-go and hip-hop music, and he's still rocking right now. He had a belated birthday. Happy belated birthday. We're going to welcome DJ Kool to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Thank y'all for having me.
Yes, indeed. It's definitely an honor to have you all. Like we was talking before we went on the air, I got to see you last year live at the Culture Tour. The first stop was Columbus, Georgia, with New Edition, Charlie Wilson, Jodeci. That was such a great event. How do you maintain that energy? And also, what do you have going on currently right now?
Well, first of all, I guess how I maintain the energy is I just love the game, man. I love it. You know what I mean? Like it is everything. As I say, when I'm out there, I'm just getting my whole life while I'm out there, as they say. You know what I mean? The answer to the second question is, I don't know, man, just staying busy. You know what I mean? Just staying on the road. Thanks to my management team and my booking agent, which is Walt Reeder Jr., Big Block Entertainment. He keeping me busy. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Walt Jr.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about the beginning years. Like we are talking about the 50th anniversary of hip hop this year, and I know you have been a major part of it, starting off in the late 70s. What was it like when you first got into you wanted to be a DJ? What was that moment that sparked that idea?
Just going to clubs back in the day. It was one club in particular that I wound up working at later on, as a matter of fact. It was a DJ that was working there at the time named Maniac McLeod. And at that time, in the early, well, I would say mid 70s, you know, it was him, and then it was everybody else. You know what I mean? And so when I seen him, I'm like, well, damn, that's what I want to be. I want to be a DJ. So it was actually between Maniac McLeod in DC, hearing Grandmaster Flash and Curtis Blow, and then hearing Melly Mel's voice. So Melly Mel's voice actually prompted me to become an MC. But Maniac McLeod was the one that prompted me to become DJ/MC. And then here comes Chuck Brown. May he rest in peace. That's where the whole go-go thing came into play. You know what I mean? So Flash and Melly Mel and Curtis Blow and them from the hip-hop side, Chuck Brown from the go-go side, Maniac McLeod as a DJ. So those are all my earliest musical influences as far as hip-hop and go-go is concerned. But I tell people this all the time, if it wasn't for the invention of hip-hop, I wanted to play keyboards for Parliament Funkadelic. Ooh, yes. I wanted to play beside Bernie Worrell and rock with George Clinton. I wanted to be a part of the funk mob. Like in my head, I'm a part of the funk mob anyway. I done met George Clinton several times, sang with him before, everything. So if it wasn't for hip-hop, I would have probably been in the funk mob, or more realistically, probably been playing with one of our premier go-go bands. I might have been playing keys for Chuck or Trouble Funk, Red Essence or EU, something like that.
Okay. That's what's up. Parliament. Yeah, that's legendary. But you legendary too. That would just be an explosion of music and just a collaboration. You agree with that, Jerry?
Indeed, that would have been epic. I know what to say. That would have been epic. You teamed up with Mr. Worrell and George, Mr. Clinton. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that.
The creativity in the house. Because I can only imagine, I know that during the creative process, sometimes there are like crazy things that spark a song. I've been witness playing dominoes in the studio. I don't make music. I'm a promoter, right? So, but I've got Bobby Womack and freaking Rapid Forte sitting, we playing dominoes, and somebody said something slick. Deadeye said something slick. And somebody said, oh, that's a hook. I was at the domino table by myself 2 seconds later. They were in the booth. What was your craziest inspirational moment that sparked a song in your memory?
The story behind Let Me Clear My Throat.
Run it.
The story behind Let Me Clear My Throat, me playing in a club in Richmond, Virginia called Ivory's. Shout out to the owner, Steve Branch. This was, the record came out in 96, so I might have came up with the concept for this record probably about 95. I'm in the club rocking joints. I dropped the 900 number, which is, as you know, a classic hip hop track made by Mark 45 King. And me being on my DJ MC stuff, you know, I'm going back and forth with the crowd. I was getting ready to say something to the crowd. Something actually got caught in my throat. So the way to kind of play everything off, as far as me up there dying in front of everybody, and nobody knew, I just used a line from an old Beastie Boys song, Let Me Clear My Throat. It's the new style, the little intro that they had to, I forget what song it was. But anyway, so the people came back that particular week because I was playing the club every Tuesday. So they came back next week. Cool, you gonna clear your throat tonight? You gonna clear your throat? I'm like, what is they talking about? Oh, that foolishness that I was playing with last week. Okay, so fast forward. My first live recording was a song called The 20-Minute Workout, which was over the instrumental track to Dougie Fresh's I'm Getting Ready, which was produced by Rare Essence. I did that song live in Ivory's, but I put a little snippet at the end of the 20-Minute Workout record that became, I guess, the idea or the precursor for Let Me Clear My Throat. The record came out. I got a call from an air personality out of Philly named Don Mystic Mac. He'd say, cool, you got Philly on this go-go thing. He was talking about the 20-Minute Workout record, right? He'd say, but what they really going off is whatever the hell you doing over 900 number, talking about Let Me Clear My Throat, and you coughing and this and that, say you need to come up here and see it. So they had a big show at what used to be the Core State Center. Crazy crowd in there. Shout out to DJ Rand. He rocking some joints. So he dropped a little snippet of what became Clear My Throat. 16,000 people stood up. I said, all right, that's the song right there. Let me go ahead and finish that up. My manager, Walt Jr., booked me for a show at a place that used to be called Bahama Bay in Philadelphia. We did a live concert there. We did the live recording right there in one take. Nobody knew we was doing the record except myself, my DJ, and my recording engineer. We did that record in one take, just like we do all the live, or just like I've rather done all the live records. And I guess the rest is God's blessings and history.
Okay. We were talking off air about this line. Now, my wife of 20 years now, we set the parties off in our age group with Let Me Clear My Throat, right?
Okay.
We still go set it off. Her 50th birthday party was insane. Everybody, you know, masked up and all that good stuff, and Let Me Clear My Throat, the DJ threw it all. That DJ got $100 tip that night because I swear the dance floor just went young, old, everybody knows the song. So you were talking to the ladies, you said something to the ladies, right? Then you said something to the guys. You said, fellas, if you just trying to get your man, and my wife said, did he know what he just said?
Oh, I know exactly what I said. Getting your man is like a term of accomplishment. So in other words, you playing ball, let's say you watch a basketball game. Jordan got 50 points in the game, right? Man, Jordan scored 50 last night. Well, Jordan got his man last night.
Okay.
It's that. You know what I mean?
Okay. That's
TC slang though. That's some stuff that's way old school. Like that's like late 70s, early 80s. These cats, old school cats start talking like that.
Okay. Yeah, we were talking about, she says, you know, in this day and age, everybody's mind is twisted, right?
Right.
And she's from New York. So she's from New York. Anyway, so she's like, does he know what he said? I've been wanting to talk to and ask this question. I said, I'm going to ask the question the next time I get an opportunity to talk to DJ Kool.
Yep.
And here T-Recx and DJ Dance Party give me an opportunity to face up with you this time, so I could ask you and get the smile that you had. I'm like, that's like, okay, we got it now.
Yep.
So
Term of accomplishment, yes, indeed. In whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? It's just, if you accomplish something that was real dope, yeah, Jerry got his man. It's such, you know what I'm saying? T-Rex got his man. He was DJing last night, T-Rex got his man, you know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Can I ask you also, do you remember the first records that you mixed or scratched on the turntables?
That's a good one. Probably a record by, the record was called Freedom, but it was not by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. It was by the group that originally done it. Doggone it, they was from New York. Your wife may know the answer to this one. This real old school. What was the name? I can't recall the name of the group, but that was probably one of the first records. You know what I mean? Like early hip hop records.
Okay.
A lot of Grandmaster Flash stuff, Curtis Blow stuff, you know.
Okay.
A lot of disco records we played back in the day, and also early go-go records.
Okay. So in me reviewing the music, you weren't so much a scratcher as a blender. You did some scratching, but you were like the master of the blend. We never knew where you was gonna come next, but it was always gonna continue to party. How did you learn to read the room? And you know, the skill sets that you have as compared to maybe somebody who mainly scratches or is a turntablist, you know, competitive turntablist. How do you differentiate those things from a professional standpoint?
Once again, just watching Maniac McLeod, you know what I mean? And that was his style. He was a blender. The thing a lot of people may not understand about Maniac is he came through, he was in the era before scratching started. We talking 75, 76. Well, nobody scratching back then. You know what I mean? Definitely not in this area rather. But when I first did hear him scratch, it was like good times, you know, something real basic, real simple, because that was the skill set back then, you know. So I grew up with that. Now his mixes, his blends, just seamless. This dude could probably sit up there and play 20 records, and you probably think he's still on the first one, you know, because his blends was just seamless. And then the way, you know, he broke records down, like a lot of times he would mix the breaks and whatnot. Then he'd come from the break, go right back to the beginning, play it all the way up to the break again. Then he mixing on the break, out of that break into the next one, and just, it's a party. And then he back and forth on the mic, you know, talking, going back and forth with folks and doing a little call and response stuff. And, you know, as we call it, joning in DC, y'all might call it cracking or clowning or whatever on people, you know, joking with people, this and that, and just being an MC, being an entertainer behind the turntables. And so that was my whole, I'm Maniac McLeod 2.0. That's who I am. I am Kobe to Maniac's, no, how can I say this? I'm Michael Jordan to I don't know, I guess Dr. J. You know what I mean? Or Kobe to Michael Jordan, as far as me and Maniac are concerned.
Okay. Pete, can I ask a couple more questions?
Oh, yes, go ahead. Yes.
Okay.
I'm enjoying this.
I'm trying to get out. I'm just trying to have a conversation. I'd like to get your thoughts, because nobody thought that hip hop was going to, well, except for the people who live in the culture, who lived the culture before it became mainstream and commercial, the outliers who became the usurpers and musical colonizers, didn't think that hip hop was going to make it and become commercially viable. And now it's a global force. I knew it was going to be a global force when Rapping Granny, the white-haired little white lady that they had, Rapping Granny, came out. And I'm like, oh my God, they were stealing early. Anyway, now it's a global force, and it's contributed to the fabric of music globally. Your take on that evolution, and when did you have that, like, oh my God, we really did something?
I don't know, man. Like when they start showing us on the Grammys.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Because yeah, we was getting Grammy Awards, but we had to get our Grammy Awards in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you take your Grammy and get on out the back door now. You got it. That's enough. But when it starts showing it on TV and showing everybody, I think that was one moment. Then when you start seeing it like in cartoons and all that kind of stuff, and you know, that's when you know that mainstream America had pretty much accepted it.
Yeah.
Or was pimping it. Let's put it that way.
Man. Anyway, look, when that senator from Rhode Island got up there and did that daggone rap addressing gun violence and feeding children in schools, I'm like, okay, now we have a state legislature at the microphone on the floor of the House rapping. This is dynamic. Yeah. So my last question for this series, and I'm going to give it back to our host, Recx, and the Universal Hip Hop Museum, the grand opening is scheduled for 2024. They've already got some exhibits going on. Rocky has done an amazing job out there in the Bronx. When it first came and we were just getting the renderings, started covering it then. Do you have a specific level of excitement about seeing the Universal Hip Hop Museum come to fruition? How do you support it?
I mean, I'm definitely excited. We started a branch of it down here.
Okay.
Myself and Scarface were some of the first inductees in 2019. And I was just told this year that I will be an inductee next year in New York as well. So for me, like, that's everything. And then once again, just speaking for myself, I'm not just bringing hip hop with me, I'm bringing go-go with me too.
Right.
You know what I mean? So everywhere I go, I'm bringing Chuck Brown with me, because half of me is hip hop, the other half is go-go, and everybody know that. A lot of these people be calling me the bridge, you know what I mean? But I mean, I've been doing this since 77. I've been DJ Kool in the form that you see me in right now since 1977. I started making records in 86 and was able to be the first one to come out of here doing hip hop to chart in 86, and then have something somewhere on the charts, whether it be a low position or whatever, but somewhere on that top 100 charts every year, all the way up to 96 when Clear My Throat came out.
Okay.
And we got our first gold record in 2 months with the label, which was American Records. But now they're talking about it's a very high possibility that I have a platinum or maybe multi-platinum coming from the RRAA. So they're investigating that right now, because it's been 27 years.
That should be diamond. I don't know nothing about no gold or platinum for you. That's diamond.
I agree.
Now, come on, man. Diamond,
agree.
That's billions. Come on.
Ooh, well, that would be, hey, I'll tell you what, I'm going to let you go on and speak that into existence. You know what I mean? I'm not going to stop.
Campaign hard. I'm going to campaign hard.
You have to bring the diamond record to the diamond district. You just have to do that.
Absolutely.
We'll pray on that one. You know what I mean? We will pray on that one, but I'm just appreciative of all the support that I've been getting. all over the world. You know what I mean? And I do this in the name of Washington D.C. I do it in the name of Chuck Brown. I do it in the name of Maniac McCloud. You know what I mean? And I do it in the name of hip hop. So that's it, man.
Well, thank you for your intestinal fortitude coming up through the industry when there was a lot of fluffery going on. I talked to George Clinton and he told me about the fluffery that's still going on today, but it was worse then. It takes a lot of intestinal fortitude to put a couple of decades into something, even if it's something that you love. When people are abusing the artists, the creators, the founders, and even from the inside, people disrespecting and saying denigrating things about the founders. To stay the course is a showcase, like I said, of intestinal fortitude, leadership, and the warrior spirit, the champion spirit. And I just appreciate you and thank you for what you do. And I wish you much continued success. Anything we can do here, certainly I want to support. You have my personal guarantee about the Hype magazine being in your corner.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, man. I just try to move the way that I feel that God would want me to move. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I use the term God body like the 5% of brothers use. You know what I mean? Like that's just my whole mindset with everything. I just let God lead me. And that's it. And it really don't matter, what nobody else thinks about it. You got a lot of non-believers out here. And me personally, I can't understand the concept of an atheist. But, you do you. And I'm going to continue doing me. I'm going to continue following the light. Let's put it that way. You know what I mean? So that's all you're going to get out of me. That's it.
That sparked one more question. I'm going to get out your way. I promise.
Absolutely. Okay.
You have, over the years, been interviewed by pretty much everybody, they cat, uncle, and dog. Is there a question that we in the media have not asked you that you may have wanted to address? Something that we have missed, we have left out, an important benchmark or something that's really key and important and close to your
heart? To be honest with you, I can't really answer that question truthfully because it's just like you said, there've been so many interviews and so many questions that have come with so many interviews, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I promise you, I can't remember one question from the next, sometimes during the actual interview, let alone from interviews that have passed. Right. You know what I mean? I'm just appreciative that, people still find me interesting, you know what I mean? I'm appreciative that because of the fact that I've continued to move and have not stopped, and therefore that is, I guess, awarded me some amount of relevancy in this industry, you know what I mean? Going along with the way that I've been moving all these years. So I actually like engaging with people. I mean, I'm a Pisces, and so I'm a good listener. You know what I mean? And so I like talking to people. I like to get people's different schools of thought and different opinions and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I'm probably one of the most people you ever gonna, or one of the most personable people around. Like you gonna meet in your life, man, for real. You know what I mean? I'm not on no superstar stuff, none of that. I'm from Southeast. You know what I mean?
Speaking of opinions, and I'm sorry, he did it to me again. He sparked it up, and I got to respect. This is not my show. I understand, but
oh no,
I wanted to ask. A couple of decades, 3 decades in, you've heard and made thousands of songs and sounds. Are you still able to vibe out to music for the love of music, or do you find yourself analyzing the compositions, what you're hearing?
A little bit of both, you know what I mean? Because I am a musical person, so I'm into all types of music. I'm into everything from Trouble Funk to Elton John. I mean, you know what I mean? And everything in between. And I don't know, maybe you're trying to, in some kind of way, elude on my thoughts and feelings on the music that's going on right now.
No. My question.
Okay. Well, I kind of think we were going to touch on that a little bit, but for the most part, yes, I'm always, you know what I mean? Like, you know, music, to be honest with you, is all over me, you know, and I'm always listening to things like very deeply. I would say, like, remember I told you I'm into like funk music and when I listen to Parliament. So a lot of stuff that Bernie Worrell was doing, you know, doing all this like jazz improvisational stuff that he does sometimes when he kind of go way over here somewhere, but he's still with everything that's going on right here. Like I'm listening to all these little riffs that he got that's under the riffs and whatnot. So I listen real deep to a lot of music. So yeah, very much in tune.
Okay. Thank you. D, baby.
Yes. And I want to ask you, DJ Kool, who is on your radar right now? Who's on your list as artists to watch or even DJs that we need to pay close attention to?
I'm also into your lyrical hip hop. I can't do I can't do the Migos flow type thing personally. So I like Marcus Clay. I like Simba. I like Griselda. I like Coach Contra. I like Rhapsody. I like RJ Payne. I definitely like J. Cole. I like early Drake. When Drake first came out, right?
Yes.
He's had a lot of great moments, you know what I'm saying? But if I had to choose, I like his early stuff as opposed to, you know, his later material. I'm a big Kendrick Lamar fan. You know what I mean? So if you got a hot pen, that's what I want to hear. You know what I'm saying? I can't get into the little.
I want Big Luther.
Right. Right.
Is there a collaboration out there that you always wanted to do, but you didn't have the time, or was just something that didn't allow that to happen?
Always wanted to make records with T-Pain and Busta Rhymes.
Oh man, that would be hot. That would be hot.
Because Busta, me and him got the same energy. Like, you know, we up here, you know what I'm saying? And T-Pain is just creative as hell and talented as hell. You gotta remember, this dude was running the radio at one time. Always wanted to make records with Timbaland and Missy. Still want to make records with Missy. Missy, if you listening, you already know what time it is.
Oh, yes.
And Pharrell.
Absolutely.
Pharrell approached me one time about that and then never followed up. So I said, you know what? Whenever God ready for that to happen, it's going to happen. And if it don't happen, then, you know, God didn't want that to happen. That's just the way I look at stuff like that. I don't hold nobody to nothing. You know what I mean? Because God is in control, period. That's just why I'm setting that with it. You know what I mean?
Yes, that'd definitely be some hot collaborations you just mentioned there. We're going to speak that to existence right now.
Yeah.
And we're going to make sure you get on that Busta record. You know, Missy, Timbaland.
Yeah, T-Pain, yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed. Yes. Now, how close are you into the sports scene in Washington? I know the Nationals won the World Series a few years ago. We got the Commanders.
Who I call the Redskins still, I'm sorry, but anyway.
Okay. Yes.
I've always been for the home team, you know what I mean? Even though the home team has not been doing, especially our football team, has not been doing what we're supposed to be doing. I'm personally appreciative of the fact that Daniel Snyder is starting to make his way out of the door, because in my opinion, he has been a dark cloud over our organization ever since he came here. And I'm saying that, and I'll say it real loud because he can't do nothing to me, you know what I mean? So,
right.
Yeah, so I'll just be glad when he get his ass out of here, finally. Maybe we can get back to some football. The Wizards, I don't know what's going on with them.
Yes.
I really think they just need to hit the reset button. They out of focus, in my opinion. Capitals, they doing what they doing. The Nationals, they doing what they doing. I did get an opportunity to perform for the Nationals the year that we won the World Series. So that was incredible. I got a chance to perform for the Capitals the year that we won the Stanley Cup and whatnot. So, you know, But I do
Yes.
a lot of NBA halftime shows. Shout out to my man Dino. Um, he is my NBA or my pro sports agent, and he books me for a lot of NBA stuff and NHL stuff and stuff like that. So I'm a big sports guy. I was a full sport athlete coming up. So I guess again, you know, in my mind, I wanted to play point guard for the Lakers at one time. I wanted to play with Magic. You know what I
Okay.
mean? But I guess I would have been playing point. I'd probably been playing the two guard if I was playing with Magic back then.
Right.
So that was my dream to play in the NBA. But God was like, no, I do not want you to play basketball. I want you to be DJ Kool. So that's what happened.
Yes, indeed.
We've been
Now, as
blessed.
far as having a protege, do you have someone under your wing that you kind of grooming to continue being the voice of the music coming out of the DMV?
Man, it's like not one person in particular, you know what I mean? But I'm rooting for all of them. You know, I'm rooting for all of them. The ones that know of me and the ones that haven't met me yet. You know what I mean? Like the newer ones. I just want them to go about it the right way. You know what I mean? Because a lot of them, especially nowadays, they're going about it the wrong way. You know, especially with everything that's going on, like with social media and whatnot. Like social media is driving people crazy.
Whew, yes.
It's
In
driving people crazy. I'm like, what is y'all doing? Like a lot of this stuff that y'all see, this is not real life. It really ain't. You know, people doing stuff for clickbait, as they call it, all that. It's a bunch of foolishness. I'm like, man, nah, that ain't it. Well,
Right.
damn, what? How you been doing this stuff so long? I say, man, because I put God first. And I'm trying to go about this the right way. I ain't trying to take nothing from nobody or none of that. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. I don't get some people.
Yeah, it's definitely a time waster and an energy puller. Like it just consumes a lot of people and just control them. It's unbelievable. Um, I'm a tech head, but I know I had to put it down sometimes too. And I know Jerry, you know, you had to sometimes you had to just put them gadgets down and walk away from them for a
Yeah,
while.
fall back. You know what I mean? Because y'all, it's
Yes,
too much. Like, yeah, do I like flipping through Instagram? And, you know, I'm not too big on Facebook like that. But Instagram and now TikTok, you know, because a lot of times I'm flipping through because I'm looking for talent and
right.
whatnot. That's something else that I want to venture off into, um, hopefully in the near future. You know, doing A&R at some point for somebody, even if it's a new independent situation. You know what I mean? That got some good stuff going on. So I'm looking at a few folks, but for the most part, man, I see like especially a lot of our women. Oh my God, what are y'all? See, I got a daughter, and I thank God that she's not into none of this stuff that you see, like these girls with all the TNA all over the place, this and that. I did not raise my child that way, and I'm glad that she has the mindset now on her own, her being 25 years old now, to not even uh, entertain those type of thoughts or actions that come along with somebody with that slutty, as I like to call slutty mindset. You know what I mean? I can't do that.
Yes.
it's
Totally
But
agree
that's
with
just me though. You know what I mean? Like, you know, somebody else into that, do what you do. I'm not gonna be there. You know what I'm
you.
saying?
Absolutely.
we're in the
Mm-mm.
age of babies raising babies, and with each
Right.
successive generation, the morals and standards that we were taught by our great grandparents and grandparents have evolved. But you know, it began, and there's a definitive moment in our history uh, when they decided as a collective that okay, we're going to take the power of parenting away from parents, and that was in the 70s. And you
Mm-hmm.
know, I came up when you could get paddled in school and you'd go home and get another taste, right? Uh,
Yes.
so now you can't do that. You can barely raise your voice at your kids before they can call 911. And what they did was take advantages, take advantage of the chains and images of psychological slavery in which they took away the power of the man, put the woman in charge, and she has been the backbone of our community since we got here. Because a man couldn't be a man. And a woman, you know, you tell me that a person who has to sit there and watch his spouse be abused, taken, raped, your daughters, you know what I mean? And then they take them away in droves. So California at one point had like 100,000 prisoners. The female count on the street, women to men, was 9-1. You had your pick. How did they differentiate themselves from other women? The more naked they got, the more interest they got. I was bad about it. I mean, I was a hoe, and I took advantage, you know, of the situation. But as I matured and I sit back and I go, this has been a plan. This is Willie Lynch philosophy on a more complex and intricate scale. And so now here we have a community that's devolved into celebrating basically materialistic and animalistic tendencies. And women, unfortunately, have fallen into the trap that I won't be accepted unless I'm damn near butt naked. Excuse me for cussing on your show, T. That's an effect. I mean, you can look at Instagram, and I don't have a problem with sex workers. I'm a military guy. I'm all over the world. I have supported independent business people all over the globe. Okay, I'm not going to lie. So, but to have my child have a conversation with me, and I have to correct her thinking like, you are, your body is not your value. It's not the meat, it's the dressing on the plate. The serving platter is your brain. What can you bring to the table? And at this moment, be your table. Concentrate on that. Fine, you can be a business person. Fine, you could do whatever you like to do, but please remember, and let's recapture the value we have for our women, because they they birth us, they hold us, they, you know, it's to the point these girls don't even want relationships. Why get married? Because the guys don't. Do you remember? I know you remember DJ Kool. You would be hanging out with your boys and you like, yo, man, if I drop my coldest line, man, I'm gonna pull every girl in the party, right? I got my rap is that cold. These brothers ain't got no game. All they do, go hustle some money. Money has replaced conversation, interaction, engagement, upliftment of relationship. And a girl says, I don't have to do that. You know what I mean? I can get my bag. I can give him a little play. And when he wants some more, he gonna come back with another bag.
You know, I'm gonna tell you what's crazy to kind of bounce off of what you just said as far as the lack of game that a lot of these guys got nowadays. All right, I'm 65. All right, so let's say we're at a party. I come from a time where we used to slow drag with the women, right? So we can get in their ear. Exactly. Nowadays, it ain't no such thing as that. These young men don't know nothing about that part. They not even really dancing with the women no more. The damn women is dancing with the women.
Or top of the
Everything
table,
done turned into a
couches.
strip club or a lounge. It ain't even a dance floor no more. So I mean, it's so many levels to that onion right there. You know what I mean? And it has everything to do with the point that you just made not too long ago about the fact that they've taken the power away from the man. They've taken him out of the household and everything. And so now the woman thinks she run everything until she needs something. Then here you come, you know what I'm saying, with your hand stuck out. I'm like, yo, I thought you was the alpha and the omega in this situation. What are you talking about? You just tell me you ain't need me. But yeah, that's deep. And it's been going on for a long time. And I think it's just going to get worse, to be honest with you. It's sad to say, but I believe it's true. There are very few people, men, that are out here that share the same mindset that we share, or, you know, as far as the things that you just spoke on and how important these things are. When it comes to disciplined kids and whatnot, I'm like Bernie Mac. I don't, if I had boys, right, and you did something crazy, I'm busting your head to the white meat, straight up. Because my thing is this, ain't no way in the hell I'm gonna let you come to my house and tell me how to discipline my child. But I tell you what you do. If that's what you want to do, man, go upstairs and get all your clothes, right? Because you going home with this person right here, right? Oh, no, man, I got enough problems of my own. No, because apparently I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm gonna let him or her, in some cases, go with you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not allowing me to do my job. If you allow me to do my job the best way that I know how, maybe it'll keep you from picking my child up in the street, taking them to prison, or killing my child in the streets nowadays.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep that from happening.
Right.
So tell me which way we want to go, because I ain't going no way with you. You can stop that. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And but you know, that's just my little Bernie Mac attitude with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel you on that, and I feel like the internet was the Pandora's box. You know, it was the shiny new toy that everybody wanted in the early '90s, and then now, you know, it's just so much information. It's an information overload, and too much information is not necessarily good. And the things that's the media, the apps is all geared toward being selfish. And so that's why that spirit is going to continue on through these apps, because they want you to worry about self and not love thy neighbor anymore. And that's what's being pushed to the youth and just everybody through, you know, magazines, not the hype magazine, but just like just different kind of magazines, video games. They finding a way to push that narrative out to these kids, and they feel like, okay, the parents don't have any power, so the kids have all the power in the schools, at home, in society. It just society just has turned upside down, and we just got to stay prayed up, because now is the time to really to tap into your faith, because it's only going, like you said, DJ Kool, is only going to get worse.
Mm-hmm. We all come from an era, so whereas we used to go outside to play.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, you know, to the playground or wherever. Now their playground is that damn phone or their, you know, or what have you. I'm like, what?
Yes.
Crazy.
Yeah.
If you think about it, we was more healthy than a lot of these kids.
And drank out the water hose, y'all.
I know.
What?
Many times.
Yeah. Could not come inside except to use the bathroom.
Yes.
And you was on a timer. You've been in the house too long.
Right.
Get out. Okay.
It's incredible, man. So I was having a conversation with Greg Nice from Nice and Smooth last night. And one thing that he said that really stuck with me and that both of us agreed on was the fact that we are so blessed that we were raised in the era that we were raised in. I'm 10 years older than him, but still, you know what I mean? Some of the same principles applied 10 years after, you know what I mean, after I, you know, was doing what I was doing, let's say in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s or what have you. Them same things was going on. I guess for him, it would probably be in the 80s, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, man, I'm thankful for that. I couldn't imagine being like just coming in here right now with the way things are right now. Like all this foolishness is normal to these kids, though. That's the scary part.
Yes.
It's spilling over into the hip hop culture, and they're blaming the hip hop culture. but they're not looking into the boardrooms at the bean counters who said, and you know, you got to give Kanye credit when he says something right. When he was on Drink Champs, when he said, they want you to say, they count how many N-words you use. They count how many B's you use. But I think you need to add a couple of more to make this record sell. Now, them people don't share our uniform. Not culturally. Now, they're telling us how they're shaping from the financial side, the culture, and making it going from the bards of the street, telling us what's going on in our communities, speaking on the injustices and things that were going on. People didn't believe until they actually saw, Rodney King getting beat on camera. And then for them to see all of those cops get off, even though you see it on camera, you can't believe your eyes.
Look at the George Floyd situation.
Yes, it's still happening.
Way after, right, like that's close to like right now.
Now, yes.
And y'all still don't get it?
Still, yeah. And they're blaming.
But you know what? Now check this out.
Yeah.
So, this was a few years back. And this lady was interviewing Young Thug. What a name. And she was talking about the violence and the police brutality and what he thought about it. He said, man, we don't care nothing about that, man. We out here turning up. I'm like, what? I said, you know what, son, I'm done with you. So, it kind of make you wonder where he at right now. You know what I mean? Because he is totally out of touch with what's really going on out here. The police brutality that they're talking about is stuff that could have been you. And you talking about you don't care nothing about it, you out here turning up. They just ain't got their hands on you yet, son. When they get their hands on you, I bet you care then.
Well, he got the F and F.
Exactly.
He got the F and F right now.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, how stupid you gonna be? I mean, don't get me wrong. I know a lot of these people that act like this are a product of their environment. I get it, but come on, son, like, we can't be that far gone. Can't be that far gone. I mean, I know a lot of us are, and a lot of us, be honest with you, are at the point of no return. It's sad, but it's true. But as a whole, we can't be that far gone. And I'm looking at a lot of these youngins, and I'm like, man, like we need y'all. Like y'all next up, we on our way out. We got more years behind us than we do in front of us now. Those of us is in our 50s and 60s, you know what I'm saying? We counting down.
Man.
I mean, it is, that's facts. You know what I'm saying? You can't escape that. So with that being said, man, we need y'all youngins to step up now. When they say, what was that? The children are the future. Yeah, those are facts. That's just basic common sense. Like, just as basic math. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So that be the case. Like, this is the kind of world you want to live in?
I don't trust none of these youngsters to take care of me. I'm 60 now. I figure in the next 10 years, I feel, and it's showing by their behavior, I feel like I've raised my sons and daughters well and brought some of that, and they've received it, and they're aware enough, young people, to look at the world and say, I see what you're saying, Pop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to dictate to you. You're a grown self-person. You know what I mean? My youngest is 16. She ain't grown yet. She thinks she's grown, but the rest of them, they're saying, Pop, I see why you were hard. And I thought you were just being a hard ass because you were in the military and this, that, and the third. I'm like, bro, I'm teaching you survival skills. It's not that I enjoy telling you about the dark America kind of situations with, the underbelly of America's legal system, the financial system, the fact that they can identify your neighborhood based on your credit score. They got it down to zip code.
Yep.
They can find you by your credit score.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's crazy. Oh, this is a 500 credit score neighborhood. Okay, well, guess what? When a natural disaster happens, we're going to go and put our FEMA money in the 780 and 800 credit score neighborhoods. That 500 credit score neighborhood will get to you if we have something left, and it dribbles down.
Right. Exactly.
So, I want to compliment, because you spoke about a young man, young thug. I want to compliment NBA Youngboy, because he did do a video and he says, I'm paraphrasing, y'all, so don't hold me, but he didn't realize, and he never paid attention to, the kind of material that he was putting out and that people would act on that. And he acknowledged that he was going to make the change. He says, look, it ain't going to be overnight, but I understand. So somewhere he woke up, and this young man became aware, and it hit him like, people are out here killing each other behind my music. They're out here getting drugged out behind my music. They're disrespecting our ladies behind my music. I'm not going to contribute to that anymore. And, he's probably under one of those contracts where he doesn't necessarily have total creative control right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I think that he's a smart young man, and he will figure it out how to work that out.
Well, he's on his way, and so God bless him for that. You know what I mean? He can't do nothing but get better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I applaud him for that.
Yeah.
But I guess that's why I'm into, like, if we want to go back and rewind the tape a little bit, as far as, and when we were talking about certain, artists or what have you, I guess that's why I'm into people like the J. Coles and the Kendrick Lamars of the world, and even Sister Rhapsody, you know what I mean, out here, because they talking about something and they standing on it. You know what I mean? They just not out here talking all this strip club foolishness, or contributing to strip club culture and stuff like that. So yeah, you got some of them, man, that wake up eventually. You know what I mean?
It's light though when you see a young kid like that I don't think he's 25 or 26
Mm-hmm.
yet, but to see them wake up and mature almost in front of your eyes,
Mm-hmm.
and the look of awareness and understanding that now glows from their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Look at it and you go, okay, we have hope. We just need, another 200,000 of that person. You know what I mean? That mindset. And
well, you got his friends,
mm-hmm.
like his real friends. Let's say if he got 10 friends, if he can get 3 of them to follow him, and those 3 can get 3 people to follow them, then, maybe they can start building that nation. You know what I mean? Like that.
Rebuild. We need to rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
We need to go back to Black Wall Street, Tulsa, 5 Points in Denver, you know what I mean? Nicodemus in Kansas. We need to go back where we are taking care of ourselves. Stop begging and asking for someone to give you something that we can create in our own communities.
But my thing is this, Jerry, every time we try to do that, they burn it down.
They still finding bodies in Tulsa. Yeah.
You see, every time we try to do that, every time we try to do that again, they figure out a way to tear it up. See, so they're not going to stop. Okay, here we go. This part right here.
Let's get it, baby.
They're not going to stop till they get this little race war going that they've been trying to get going for the longest. You see? So my thing with all that is this. And I'm speaking to my folks right now, especially all y'all young ones, especially a lot of y'all gang members. Y'all need to take them guns and whatnot and point them at your real enemy. Because when this race war go down, if you don't stop doing what you're doing, you're going to lose that war. Why? Because you done killed all your soldiers. You done killed all of them. And you ain't going to have nobody to fight back with. That's my thing.
Oh, yes.
I mean, looking at these gang members and whatnot, God bless y'all, man. I get the concept. Like, y'all got the right concept, but you got to point in the wrong direction. You know what I mean?
Pointing inward instead of outward. Yep.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, we definitely got to pray for our brothers and sisters, you know, everybody that's involved and, you know, trying to do right and put out the right message. DJ
Yeah.
Kool, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the DJ Dance Party. Are there any shout outs you would like to give out tonight?
Anybody and everybody, man, that's been a, you know, DJ Kool supporter. I don't like to use the word fans because that's just crazy to me. So a supporter of mine. I'm shouting out to all of y'all all over the world. I also like to let people know that I'm the type of person where I look up to my supporters, because if it wasn't for the supporters, then there wouldn't be no DJ Kool. You know, a lot of so-called celebrities, they look down on their fans or supporters or what have you. And that don't make no sense to me. I look up to mine. And, you know, that's it. That's all I got to give you.
There it is, y'all. The legendary DJ Kool.
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you for blessing the Hype Magazine with your interview. Jerry Dobie, thank you so much for being a special guest.
Thank you for having me.
Yes,
Thank you for having
it's
me.
celebrating the 50th anniversary of hip hop, and we are about to close out today. You can also check us out on iHeart and all your favorite podcast providers, YouTube. I definitely want to give a shout out to the Hype Magazine, Two Factor Media, everybody that's rocking with us. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope you all have a great night. Tell your loved ones you love them today, because tomorrow's never promised. I always love God and love people.
Real quick, something I forgot. Every Tuesday, I do a broadcast on a platform called GoGo TV or GoGo Radio Live. Shout out to Nico Hobson. I play nothing but 80s and 90s go-go music. I do that every Tuesday between 7 and 9 p.m. and you can see it on Facebook and Twitch and a bunch of other streaming platforms.
Absolutely. There it is. Make sure y'all tune in every Tuesday. God bless. Y'all have a good night.
Yes, sir. Peace.
Peace and blessings.
Mm-hmm.